Hello, all newcomers, and welcome back, my fellow Eternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP, and today we are talking about the U.S. elections, protests that are going on and have been going on since yesterday. This stuff is pretty crazy. This is actually a live stream from yesterday that I'm showing you guys right now. Of people like marching in the streets and stuff in the U.S., specifically in New York. People are protesting, and it is getting pretty crazy out there. Let me see if we have our updates going live for everybody. Let's see. We do not. Let's see if we can get it in for everybody. Hey, we have one viewer. Thank you so much for watching and checking us out. Let me go up to here to see if I can turn this music down just a little bit for y'all. But yeah, as you guys can see, there are protesters running around. This stuff is getting pretty intense. FLD said, I'm a conservative, self-proclaimed constitutionalist and like Trump, so I'll try not to be too dumb. No, I don't think it's dumb at all. It's a huge divide between the country is what it is. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, this specifically is all focused right now on, the U.S. presidential election and how people are feeling about what they're seeing. This is just a live view of everything that's happening right now, and it's just really concerning to see the effect that this is having on people. It really is something that is affecting the whole country and the whole world in the U.S. So it's something that's really important to pay attention to, and I think not enough thought is really put into by a lot of people what kind of effects everything has. And so I think that's why you see a lot of people protesting. That's why you see all these different things happening right now, is because people feel like there is a big dilemma going on right now, and it does impact the world. The U.S. has a whole bunch of military bases and things all over the world. The U.S. has all this money all over the world. So figuring out who the president is going to be is a huge thing for everybody all across the world, from micronations, for macronations, and people are really concerned whether you're supporting Trump or whether you're supporting Biden. People are trying to figure out what's going to happen because this race has been incredibly close. And a lot of people, people on the Biden side feel like this is a disaster because the race shouldn't be this close. They feel that Trump is a fascist and things like that. And I would tend to agree that there is some nature of that there, but it's really something that's scary for them. I think on the Trump side, people want the votes stopped, want the votes to end because they feel like because Trump is ahead and because there is that support for him there, that they don't want Biden to be able to catch up. Um, uh, Salute, hey, what's going on, Salute? I'm glad you're here talking to us. Said, I don't even know why they're protesting yet. No one has won. They're protesting, I believe, because of they're protesting because they want all the votes counted. That's the big thing. Donald Trump has tried to stop the votes from getting counted and is trying to sue certain states and even in the Supreme Court for the votes to be stopped because he was ahead. Now that all the mail-in ballots are coming in, they're starting to close in on Donald Trump. It's becoming harder and harder for him to win and looking more and more like Joe Biden will win. And so they're trying to stop those mail-in ballots from being counted because they think that'll be what puts Biden over the top. FLD says, I'm a Trump supporter and he's not a racist in my opinion. That's definitely your opinion. I think there are other people who would disagree. What I said, though, wasn't about racism. What I said was about fascism, which is a political ideology. It's different. Um, uh, KTM said all en masse. What's going on? They're cheating this election. Votes have been found in dishes and trash cans that are for Trump's. The news media have calling states too soon. All en masse. FLD said socialism is bad. Mail-in ballots are bad. Trump's not a racist. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. It's interesting. I feel like it's hard to really determine what's in somebody's mind. You know what I mean? There are a lot of there are a lot of thoughts that people have on this election and um, what it means for the outcome of it. And so I think that to say that this person is or isn't this without certainty on Biden's side or on Trump's side is really hard to tell. A lot of Trump's policies have been considered racist, for example, his policies at the border and things like that. But there are also policies of Joe Biden's that have been racist as well. He was a supporter of the crime bill, which threw a lot of African Americans, disproportionately threw African Americans in jail for minor drug offenses. Um, all across the country, and that wasn't something that was specifically targeting black people. Just like there have been things that uh, policies generally aren't specifically targeting one group of people, but when you create something that you don't take account of how it will affect larger populations of people, when you don't really try and understand every level of the issue as a policymaker, that's where you get into big trouble. That's where micronationalists, I think, can learn a lot from their macronational counterparts, is that when you are not careful about how you do things, whether you self-identify as racist or not, whether you self-identify as sexist or not, whether you self-identify as any political ideology, your actions may create effects that tend to resonate that viewpoint. So even if you yourself are not racist, you can still pass policies that are racist because of your lack of understanding of how certain laws, certain things that you do will affect people of other races, because you may have the mindset and the view of being in one particular scenario. And it's not just race, it's also classism, it's also sexism, it's also lots and lots of different things. But the main thing that we're talking about tonight isn't, oh, yay, oh, wow, it's an ad. Um, a lot of this uh, is not talking specifically about policy tonight. This is really just talking about the election and about how everything's going. Everybody is really, whether you're Democrat, Republican, worried about this, and so we are going to cover it. We're going to figure this out. Uh, Hold up. FLD said everything the Democratic Party are doing is cheating. That's an opinion, I guess. I disagree with that. I don't think the Democratic Party's cheating. I don't think the Republican Party has cheated. I think they're doing things that are concerning. The Democratic Party, I don't think really has shown any side of cheating or anything. But I think both parties are hella mad at each other because of how close this race is. Um, Biden has said he doesn't want his children to grow up in a racial jungle. Agreed. I think Joe Biden is like old man racist. And I think Donald Trump is also old man racist. Donald Trump has had policies, in effect, though, that do significantly more of that. And like we talked about, Joe Biden has as well. So it's just an issue of being a policymaker and being someone who isn't able to understand the plights of people different than you. And that's the big issue here. Salute says, I honestly think a lot of votes counted are legit, but the claims of fraud do at least need to be investigated. I agree. I think they need to be investigated, but at the end of the day, I don't think there's fraud on either side. I think it's just people getting nervous and trying to push an agenda any way that they can to make the election swing their way. Even if they can't make the election swing their way, that's just what they're going to try and do to push their agenda. But look at this. I mean, if you see the people protesting on the street, if you see the people who are affected by this, that their daily lives are being uprooted by this election and by the way that the U.S. is run, you can't think that that's a good system. You know what I mean? You can't think that things are working out and that things are fine in the U.S. when people are freaking out and fighting each other and, just so incredibly distraught over this. There are plenty of people who are peacefully protesting in this country, and to them I definitely give my support. I think it is just insane, though, how much people are hurt by this, and it's understandable. Like I said, this is really changing people's lives. This is affecting how this country is going to be run in the U.S., how everything about life for many, many people is going to be moving forward. And so it's difficult. For a lot of people, this is a chance for hope. This is a chance for pushing something that's different. And I think on both sides of it, people are upset and are hurt and feel like their way of life is being changed because of this election. I'm going to try and pull up. I don't know what's going on with my window capture right now, guys. So I know you see a blank screen. I'm going to see if I can throw it over to another window, see if that helps at all. Yeah, I'm going to try and fix this real quick while we're talking. But this has been something that's really, really crazy. I mean, just incredibly disappointing. And I think that shows in the way that people are responding to this election and in the way that people respond to all of this. There we go. I have it back up. Because you can see, I mean, people are standing around, people are trying to get their voices heard. And it's, when you have a successful, proper democracy, people need to be able to march in the streets. People need to be able to show that objection, but they shouldn't have to. They should feel like their voices are being heard in a way that is impactful and in a way that is direct without having to march in the streets and scream and protest and beg for somebody to listen to them, for their policymakers to understand them. I think that the electoral college system is also weird in the U.S. I think there's a ton of weird stuff in the way that the U.S. runs elections, but it's ultimately so horrible what it does to the everyday citizen. Um, um, hey, Dominion of Steel and Iron, what's going on? That is Charles out here. Definitely hello to Charles. Hello to Vanessa Brooks. How you doing, Vanessa? Um, uh, Nation of Sidervita said the Democratic Party is cheating 130,000 votes and none for Trump. I don't know that they're cheating. Electoral votes need to die. Well, the Electoral College, I agree, I don't support. Um, Also, Electoral College is the best. No, it sucks. I do agree. The College is garbage. Um, let's see here. Um, Salute says, yeah, I think we should get rid of the Electoral College. Most people do. It's garbage. I don't know why we have it. Um, uh, this is why I'm a monarchist micronationalist. To hell with elections. Yeah, I think for democratic macronations, there's a good reason that they're democratic. I think even democratic macronations do not like the way that U.S. elections are run because it's weird and it's harmful to the everyday citizen. And there are things like the Electoral College which make it very, very unrepresentative of what people actually want in their policy and in their policymakers. One of the things that I saw interestingly enough, like not that long ago, was somebody posting on Twitter, I think, saying, don't blame the voters for how this election is going. Blame, no matter which side you're on, don't blame the voters on how this election is going. Blame the candidates. If we didn't have Trump and Biden, two garbage candidates, in my opinion. I think they're both garbage. Even if you're a Republican, and you're a really hard Republican, you don't think there are better Republicans out there? If you're a hardcore Democrat, you don't think there are better Democrats out there? They're both garbage. And in every election, it seems like most of the American public decides, well, I'm picking between the less of two evils. I don't like Biden, so I'm going Trump, or I don't like Trump, so I'm going Biden. Why not just have people you really like? And I think it's because of the party politics. I think it's because of all the issues that people have with the idea of just a mass vote. Instead, it's these long-run elections that are built up for years and years before they even happen, of people going around and campaigning and doing all this stuff, instead of just trying to work with the policy and trying to work with the system that should be in place to begin with, that is more democratic. We have so many technologies nowadays. We have so many ways that we can do elections cleanly, fairly, and quickly that are not being used. I think one way or the other, people would always, in the U.S. especially, because of how heated political debates get, be really clamoring about saying that there's some sort of fraud or there's some sort of issue. But I think in this race, showing how many people have come out to vote, this is the largest number of people who have ever voted in the U.S. in an election, it really just goes to show you how important people feel like this is and what a monumental moment for a macro nation this is. Nation of Sidivera Vita said America isn't democracy. A lot of people definitely think that, and that's a really important claim to understand because the United States is definitely not a well-run democracy. They like to call themselves a democracy, and if that's what they identify as, that's what they do. But if they identify as a democracy, they need to be weighted and they need to be held accountable as considering themselves a democracy. And you're right, I don't think that they act very democratic. You know what I mean? Same way as us micronationalists. If you consider yourself the leader of a micronation, you should act leaderly. You should act honorably. And if you do not, that's something that you should definitely be held to task for, especially what type of micronation you run. But Salute said, I support the alternative vote. If you've seen GCP Gray's video on the Electoral College, he lays out a way you can become president with only 22% of the vote. Yep. Because if it was the popular vote, then Democratic Party would win and never have a conservative president again. Well, that's very true. Like you're saying, if the majority of people in America got the vote, then we wouldn't have it. Okay. But that's how democracy works. Salute, you said it well. If we keep voting one party, that one party will rule. Agreed. Sadie and Rice said, hello, how you doing? Ray, I hope you're doing well. FLD said, well, we've had the system for hundreds of years, it won't change. I don't know. I think it will change. I think one day there will be changes to the way that we run our elections, macro-nationally. FLD says, a Nation of Sidervita said, AP, it's literally Antifa. No, I think these people who are protesting right now are everyday people. Sure, there may be some Antifa, there may be some Trump supporters in there. But I think a lot of it are people who are just upset. You know what I mean? You can't say everybody who's protesting is Antifa. That's not true. There are plenty of people who are just concerned about their way of life. FLD says yes, and Black Lives Matter. Yeah, but that's also just a huge movement. You know what I mean? Like that's like saying, "Oh, this is all civil rights protesters." Yeah, okay, it's civil rights protesters. That's an important event to be taken account of. That's something that is positive change. FLD says it's the best. You guys should do some education about why the Electoral College is good. The popular vote is garbage. Popular vote doesn't matter. What? Well, I think alternative vote is the best idea. It's not. Well, the problem is that if we change it and some group will complain, it affects them. Agreed. If we change any way that the Electoral College is run or about how our democracy is run in the U.S., people are going to be upset. Democrats are going to be upset if they lose. Republicans are going to be upset if they lose. And everybody is just so mad about it. It's such a gridlocked situation that no matter what you do, no matter how you change it, people are going to be mad. But the important thing to remember is that there are certain things that are better effective for our democracy and for the way that these elections are run. And in my opinion, nobody really likes the Electoral College system besides apparently FLD, because it's just not something that has been helpful in our elections. It's not something that's representative. And if your candidate loses the electoral college and wins the popular vote, you're going to be pissed, and you're going to say, well, the electoral college should be dismantled. So I don't know about all that. I think some of y'all are tripping about that. But okay. So FLD says Electoral College is fair and easy to spot fraud just like now. It's the best democracy. Disagree. The Electoral College just isn't really a democracy. Dominion of Steel and Iron says, well, the problem is that if we change it, some group will do that. Dominion of Steel and Iron says, well, a democracy is an overstate. It's a republic. Yeah. Salute says, oh shoot, I see the Chicago flag in the stream. I live just southwest of Chicago. Very nice, very nice. That's pretty cool, man. How do you feel about the protests and things like that are going on? How do you feel about, how this election affects people? Even if you are on one side, and you don't support the other side, do you feel like there's a legitimate claim to be made that this election affects people's lives? And could you see the other side's point of view that, if they felt like they weren't being listened to, that there may be a need to protest. Just like, if your side was losing, vice versa. If people aren't going to listen to you no matter what you do, you have to find a way to get them to. Um, FLD says it won't, and if Trump's does, I'll also go and protest. I have an epic Trump hat. Go ahead. I mean, that's your right. Salute says I should go up there and get live footage. Agreed, you should. And then you should submit it to our channel and we'll post it. That'd be pretty cool. Salute says I think a lot of Republicans support the Electoral College. Yeah, I think so too, which is something that's kind of an issue. Because I don't think it accurately represents what their interests are. To some degree, it does, but I think if Republicans had a really good candidate that was working toward positive change for the country, and I think there has been in the past, that there would be an immediate upshoot in the amount of the popular vote, and if Democrats control a lot of the federal government, it would be hard for the Electoral College to swing their way, same way it's going for the Democrats now. Dominion of Steel and Iron said, this is why the United States won't last, because we've decided to have parties. Parties, as I said in the previous streams and videos, parties only serve to benefit the party. Agreed. It's a huge issue that we do have these parties and that the parties control so much. And I think it's just weird. It's just weird how long our elections take to count. I think that's why more and more people are interested in micronationalism, is because of this huge just feeling of apathy, that nobody gets what they want, that nobody feels happy. Even if your side wins, there's always going to be people fighting back against your stuff. There's always going to be people who are trying to shut down everything that you're doing. They're countless instances of filibusters and things like that where they've tried to pass a law and everybody supports the law, but then the majority of the people in Congress support the law, and then it ends up getting shut down because of filibustering or because of something by the minority party. And I think it's really weird. So this is probably the most consequential election in our lifetimes, and I also know that Chicago is always one of the first cities to start protesting. I think banning parties would be a violation of rights. Agreed. I think people should be allowed to protest. I think it's interesting to see the amount of police violence and things like that there is, and the amount of arresting of protesters, because some of them you can see are doing things that are more aggressive and that do potentially have some merit in police response, but a lot of police response is broad sweeping. So you can't prove that all of those people, I mean, even the police officers standing right there can't prove that all the people who they're arresting necessarily committed a crime. They can just know that in large sweeping number they're arresting people who didn't move back quick enough or who didn't do this or that. So it's kind of a hard thing to really blanket, charge all these people with crimes. America is on a downward slope, and parties are the main reason. I think you're right. FLD said Bernie Sanders, the king of filibusters. Is he real? I haven't seen like a ton of Bernie Sanders filibusters, but that would be interesting. Dominion of Steel and Iron says it's going to lead to a civil war. We can see it on how the world sees American influence being bought out by China. Agreed. That's a thing that was also big in this election, is how much foreign powers play a role. I know China's had a role in doing targeted ads and things like that about this election. I know Russia has. There's been not direct interference, I don't think, in the election, but there has been significant misinformation campaigns done about the election by these different powers, especially on social media. If the United States ever fell into another civil war, I would instantly enlist in the Union Army if I was old enough. I don't think it would fall into a civil war like that. That's one of the things that I've actually seen talked about quite a bit by different media outlets, is that if there were a civil war, I think a lot of people in like the CIA and FBI would analyze that it would be more like skirmish violence, kind of like the the Arab Spring, where there were a lot of these small factional groups who were fighting each other and trying to have control, but not actually needing to take territory. They're trying to make these political statements. They're trying to destroy the enemy, who is also this nameless, faceless group that just attacks. So I think there would be a lot more terrorist attacks. I think there would be a lot more insurgencies. And I think there would be a lot more that is these small pockets of violent uprising and less, territory control. I don't think you would have armies marching up to each other and firing rifles. I think you would have lots of little like guerrilla warfare attacks where a group comes into a city, attacks, and then leaves. And then that happens, in every part of the country, in majority controlled Republican places and majority controlled Democrat places. And I think it'll just be a lot of bloodshed for innocent people who don't want that and don't need it, and it makes their lives worse. So I think the biggest losers in that would just be the American people in general, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, because the other side hates, one side hates the other side and vice versa. Um, uh, Dominion of Steel and China said, hold up. Um, FLD says the Democratic are bought by China. FLD says I'll enlist in the army even under the age of 18. Um, Difficult to do. I think you need like parents' permission and stuff for that, and even then they might not accept you. Dominion of Steel and Iron says no, they hate China. FLD says no, they say they hate China, but they get a lot of money from China. Yeah. Um, uh, Dominion of Steel and Iron said, then how about Trump? He has his own Chinese bank account and probably pays more taxes, uh, Chinese taxes than American taxes. Agreed. That is something that was a big, big issue in this election, was Trump's taxes and how he has been responding to people requesting his taxes, because he hasn't really been super forthright with that, and in fact has been fighting people on trying to get his taxes shown. So it's been weird, and I think a lot of people are upset with it in general. I'm gonna go just to some like election results here and just watch sort of what they're up to. Oh, okay, they're doing weird, dumb, like. Okay, let's see if we can get to somewhere else. We're gonna watch an ad for a second. Hey, y'all like this ad for a second? Okay, here we go. Hold up. So yeah, you can see there's stuff going on. This is just, I believe, an ad. Okay, so they're talking about the. Okay, so right now it's 253, 214 Donald Trump to Joe Biden, and trying to keep an eye on that, but it's just so dumb. I feel like all of this is just so dumb. I have to pull the screen to the side a little bit so we can see it, but I'll scooch it whenever we need to see it. Okay, so right now, where's that? That's in Arizona. In Arizona, Biden's winning 50.2% to 48.3%. And I think that's why a lot of people are saying, there's so much rigging and there's all this stuff. 49% to 49.4% to 49.3%. Hold up, where was that? Where was that at? See, that's what's crazy. Yeah, 49.4% to 49.3% in Georgia. Yeah, so Donald Trump is about to get passed up in Georgia. I think that's why people are freaking out. North Carolina, 50% to 48%. That's why there's so much stuff. Okay, Pennsylvania, 0.9% to 0.19%. Okay, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Trump's winning all by 1%. In Arizona, yeah, see, there's so much like it's all by 1% or 0.9% that people feel like there's no way that it could be this. It's just a close race. There are people who just do not want this to happen. Joe Biden, I don't know if that's his old speech or if he's coming out to make a new speech, but look at his little weird mouth there. And Donald Trump also weird mouth there. I just think that's why people are so freaked out about this. Look, these are the states where they're saying that it's so important. New Mexico, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia. I think North Carolina or South Dakota, something like that. Um, this is just such a close race. It's so ridiculous. Dominion Steel and Iron said, it's a bit higher. Joe's winning right now. It's Joe 264, Trump 214. I think there are certain places that are calling states earlier than others, so I don't know that that's necessarily accurate yet. I'm going to go on the side of caution and give the lower number because you never know with how close these are. Like it said, it's like 0.9% for one candidate versus the other. So I don't know that you can be like, no, I'm certain it's Joe Biden, or no, I'm certain it's Donald Trump, because it's so close right now. There are states flipping back and forth. Um, FLD said it went down. Arizona pulled out. Oh, interesting. So they ended up giving their numbers and then pulled out. I'm very confused. Okay, so the Senate right now is almost tied up. 47 Democrats, 48 Republicans in the Senate. This is a close thing in the House. The Democrats took the House 226 to 209, so the Democrats have a significant lead in the House. In the Senate, they are one away from taking the lead. The Republicans have the lead by one right now. So that's what I mean about this race. It's so incredibly close, and I think this is the type of thing that American democracy is not built for, is having really, really close elections. Because then there's all this, there's fraud, and there's all this, and it's so crazy because there isn't any consensus on how to go about dealing with elections that are this close, and dealing with just the difficulties that come with that. There's no way for unbiased confirmation of these things. They try to set it up to where there is, but it's really, really hard to prove, and I don't think people really like it, and people really are able to understand the system and how it works. I think there's always room in U.S. democracy right now for people to just claim that their side isn't working out, and that it's because of cheating and it's because of scandals. So right now, North Carolina, 50% Trump. Ooh, 50% Trump, 50% Biden. Is it flat like that? 49% Biden, 48% Trump in Nevada. Hold up, let me get this pulled up. Sorry, guys. Let's see if this thing's pulled up now. Ooh, it should be. I don't know why it's not. Ooh, let me jump around. Let me go into Streamlabs. Cool. Let me go into election results. Cool. I don't know why I did it like that. Oh, that's gross. Why is it? Okay, there we go. Yep. Perfect. So, popular vote, Biden's winning by 50.5%. Trump 47.8%. Super, super close. There's some, I guess, third-party stuff, but that's 91% of the popular votes already in. Biden winning 50%, Trump winning 47, 48%, if you want to round. It's just too close, and it's so dumb how close it is. KTM says the Dems winning the House is a given, and the Republicans winning in the Senate is also a given. But it's one away, though. The House was, like, pretty confirmed. The Senate, it's like 20-something seats different in the House. The Senate, it's one seat, and it's not all done. There's still elections to be decided. So that's something that's really, really interesting. In North Carolina, 94% in, 47% for Tillis, whatever, 46% for Cunningham. Okay, so Democrats might lose another Senate seat here in just one moment. In Georgia, 49 to 47 for a Senate seat, I believe. Yep. Cool. So Senate does seem like it's going the way of the Republicans, but it's 47-48, in the Senate. It could get flipped. That's the real thing to be paying attention to. Also, I just want to give us a little plug here. Y'all see this number right here? We're at 942 subs. If you guys get some subs for us, if you guys can subscribe for us, that bumps us up to getting closer to 1,000, which is what we want for our channel. so we can start monetizing our content, being a micronation with a running economy, as we're starting to get right now through the sales on our Imperial market and stuff. But whenever we do that, please subscribe, please comment, please hit us up with all that. Because we're trying to get to that 1,000, and your watch time, your support really helps us. And it also gives us a way to know what the micronational community is up to and to know what you guys want. We take a lot from the comments and the support that we get. And it's not just me anymore. You know, there are people who are helping me run this channel, and it's really, really cool. Josephina says, I have a Discord for DMs. That's cool. I guess Democratic micronations or Democrats? I don't. Georgia 49.4% to 49.3%. Oh my gosh, dude. 99% in, too. Oh, wow. It's so close. North Carolina 50% Trump, 48% Joe Biden. Joe Biden just might dunk on it. Like, I don't think Trump can win at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'm not done with the live stream, but I'd be willing to bet Trump is gonna not Trump, Biden is gonna get it. God First says, love to see Trump supporters desperate and angry. Soon they will be crying. What's going on, God First? Thanks for hanging out with us. If you would like to subscribe, it helps us out. And tell us about your thoughts on this election. It's so close. We've been talking about it. We watched videos of the protests earlier. That shit's crazy. Josephina says direct messaging. Gotcha. That's what I figured. I was like, either that or you're talking about Democrats or something. Yeah, this election is crazy, crazy close, and I'm really curious to see what people's like final say on all of this is once it's said and done, because it's getting really close. People think it's probably going to be called tonight or tomorrow, so this is something that I think is going to change the way that the world works for the next 4 years. You know, it's really a big changing time for the U.S. And the thing that's interesting is, too, I feel like a lot of people are really disappointed in the Democrats' pick of Joe Biden as their candidate. Because one, I think, you know, the race could have been a little bit different had they picked a better candidate. You know, potentially more Democrats would have voted. Potentially more support would have went their way. As well, a thing that's interesting about it is that he's not a super progressive person. Like, I understand Republicans being upset because they want Trump in, but it's not like that crazy a thing if Joe Biden gets in, because he's not a super liberal guy. He's just not. You know, he voted on the crime bill. He's done all these other things that show he's really going to be as moderate as possible, which sucks because I don't think anybody likes a moderate, but whatever. I think Democrats really want some progressive change. I think they really want, you know, social programs instituted. I really think they want legalization of marijuana, stuff like that. Medicare for all. You know, student loan debt diminished. All of these things just goofing. Daniel Maloney's in. I changed my micronation name to the Dan Army Republic. Agreed. That's pretty cool. Oh, just Dan Republic. KTM said the House and Senate elections are on the same ballots as the presidential. So I have to ask, how come there isn't a clear count? Ballots in Michigan and Wisconsin are being found in the trash. That's a great question. I have no idea. KTM said that are registered Trump. Interesting. I guess what are the confirmations of that? Like, how many news sources have been like, that is a confirmed thing, that's a real thing that happened, like, we have sources. Also, who turned in the ballot, you know, like, who showed that the ballots were in the trash, that sort of thing. Could the ballots have been planted? Like, are they legitimate ballots? Can you, like, find the people whose names are on the ballots, you know, and track it down and show those people that their ballots were missing? Because then they could probably sue the government there. That's just interesting questions. Blake Marshall says, got to study, so can't be here too long, but popping in. Hey, Blake, I'm glad to see you. What's going on? Thank you for helping us out. Thank you for helping our view count. If you subscribe or if you donate to the stream, you guys can donate money to the stream and it'll pop up with a cool little figure up there, or you can subscribe and it'll pop up with a cool little figure up there that'll show that you supported our channel. and that means a lot. But I appreciate you, Blake. What are your thoughts on this election? It's hella, hella, hella close, dude. And I think most everybody's freaking out about it. KTM said, uh, Daniel said, I'm ready to join the stream. I appreciate it, but we're probably not going to be doing a lot of people talking on the stream. I just want to talk about the election tonight. So if you guys want to jump in on the comments, if you want to tell us what your thoughts are, I'm probably not going to do like a big like jumping around conversation thing, because I just don't want it to get distracted from the election. This is really, really clearly what I want to talk about. And, you know, this is kind of what we're going to stick to for tonight. But KTM said, new DMV whistleblower says people who weren't registered to vote were allowed to vote anyway, and then they were told to register to vote by Friday so election officials could claim their ballots were legit. Hold up. Nevada DMV whistleblower says people who weren't registered to vote were allowed to vote anyway, and then were told to register to vote by Friday so election officials could claim their ballots were legit. Interesting. I would be really curious to like see who that whistleblower is and to see like how it was confirmed and things like that. I'm interested. You know, I'm interested to see how deep that would go if that's something that can be verified by multiple sources. Dan said he already voted. That's good. I think most voting has closed now. They're just trying to tally the ballots. Who'd you vote for, Daniel? And do you feel like it's weird to vote as a micronationalist in a macronational election? KTM says, I'll get the news sources for you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Josephina says, my Discord is dark origam number 3319. That's pretty cool. Josephina, you should definitely jump into our Discord. We have, I believe, the link in the description, and we would love to see you there. Dark origam. Daniel Maloney said, okay, I'm planning an airline for the Dan Army Republic. Do you feel like that's something that'll be hard to do in practice? Do you have a plane and the ability to fly it so that you can start making money off that? Because that would rake in like a ton of money for your micronation if you ended up doing that. But we're talking about this election right now, and it's just so incredibly close. Look at this. Okay, Arizona, 50.3%, 48.3% Trump, 88% of the ballots in. It's only a difference of like 10,000 votes. So that can definitely be surpassed here. Whether you're Trump or Biden, this could go either way. Same thing here. 49.4% Trump, 49.3% Biden in Georgia. This is crazy. And I don't understand, you know, I guess I get the whole like, oh, there's like cheating or whatever, but it's so close. It's so close. I don't understand claiming cheating right now because it's so close. North Carolina, 50% Trump, 48% Biden. So close. And that big of a difference is only what, 100,000 votes. 95% is in though. North Carolina just straight up might go Trump. That's 15 electoral votes. That'll get him a lot closer to the lead. Nevada, 6 electoral votes. 49.4% Biden, 48.5% Trump. That 89% of the ballot sends 604,000 to 592. So like, you know, 10, 12 difference. You know, like 8 difference, really. No, that's like 10 or 11 like 10 or 11 difference. That's crazy. 11 viewers. Thank you guys so much. If you like this, definitely subscribe for us. You'll see a cool little animation happen if you do. Same thing with donating money to the stream or joining our Discord or whatever. I'd appreciate it. Trump talked. I think we've seen that. If you guys haven't watched that, I definitely recommend it to you. It was, I believe, yesterday. Both Trump and Biden came out and talked about how close the election is and what's going on with it. The Clean and Gleam team contact said, "Who do you want to win?" That is a great question, Clean and Gleam team. So it's a weird thing. I'm a micronationalist. I don't really like U.S. politics, and I feel like the U.S. is flawed. I feel like their election system is flawed, so I don't really support either candidate. I think Joe Biden's nasty, and I think Trump's nasty, so I kind of don't like either of them. I think Joe Biden's hella moderate, and I think Trump's kind of fascist. Honestly, who do I want to win? I would say there are pros and cons for my micronation and for micronationalists either way. So I think the pros for Trump winning is that that would drive more people to micronationalism, especially in the Democratic side. I think that the people who are against Trump are really, really heavily against Trump, like with all their hearts. So I think having a Trump victory would mean that a lot more people would swing toward micronationalism and would probably put a lot of heart into micronationalism. So I'd be interested to see that. I think that's happened quite a bit during Trump's last 4 years as president. I think on the other hand of that, though, there is a ton of people. Hey, Broken's World says I don't like either too. Agreed. It kind of sucks. It sucks that our election system is like this. This is why I created a micronation. This is the sort of frustration and angst that everybody feels right now, and it's how I felt ever since I was able to vote when I was 18 in the last election. It's garbage. It's hot garbage, and I think this is going to surge toward micronationalism. So if you guys want to subscribe, help follow us, help keep micronationalism going and building up and getting bigger, especially as people freak out over the results of the election soon, I definitely recommend you do. Also to make a cute little figure and animation pop up. Robert Washington Jr. said, hello, what's going on, Robert Washington? Are you related to other Washingtons? Do you have a say in this election? Do you have a weigh-in? Blake Marshall said, I think a problem is that even if an active president loses both the Electoral College and the popular vote, they're still not legally obligated to concede. Ooh, interesting. I feel like they are, though. We have 12 viewers right now, and I'm kind of blown away. But they are absolutely obligated to concede. They don't have to immediately, like they can try and argue and sue or whatever, but a peaceful transition of power is like in the history. It's something that's always kind of been done, and I guess they can fight it, but that may cause a serious issue in the United States if they don't. Robert Washington said no, he doesn't really have a viewpoint either way in the election, and I get that. Micronationalism is the best, a lot better. The American democracy is kind of garbage in the way that it does things. But I think for Joe Biden winning, for a Joe Biden win scenario, that brings, I think, a lot of things that I support in my own micronation, hopefully into existence. I don't even think it's going to bring anything into existence. I think it'll give more stability in the United States, which I think will be a benefit to the people there and will hopefully have some, backflow support to micronations. But I think Joe Biden winning is really just more stability. And that's never a bad thing, but it's not like a great thing either. I think both of them kind of suck. KTM said Project Veritas released a groundbreaking uncover report Wednesday night where a Michigan USPS whistleblower claims superiors instructed employees to backdate mail-in ballots coming in after November 3rd. Interesting. Why do you... Robert Washington said, you sounded like my first grade classmate asking, am I related to George Washington? Well, are you, Robert? Are you related to the George? The mega George? The boy George everyone's messing with? Are you? We don't know. Me and your first grade classmate are equally confused about your lineage, Robert. So you gotta tell us, Robert. Are you? Blake said, LOL, my class thought I was related to Thurgood Marshall. Are you? These are the questions. Do we have Washington and Thurgood up in the place? We need to figure this out. Okay. Robert Washington, confirm, or you didn't confirm or not confirm. Are you related to George Washington? You may have confirmed it in your last one because you said no. Blake Marshall, are you or are you not related to Thurgood Marshall? These are the questions. Robert Washington said, no, I'm not related to George Washington. We have it confirmed. All right, that's better. At least we know we don't have George Washington's great-great-great-grandkids looking in on this election being like, this ain't what we intend. This ain't what it's about. I don't think the founders were like that hype either. I think they had some weird ideas about it. They were just pro-slavery, like it was a different thing. But we've tried to adapt it. The people in the U.S. have tried to make of it what they could. I still don't think it's good at all. KTM said LOL. Dominion Steel and Iron said KTM yo. And I agree. What's good, KTM? I hope you're doing well. And also, it seems like Charles is wanting to chat you up, so that's some pretty cool news there. All these CNN people, or whoever this is, what is it, MSNBC? I don't fucking... yeah, NBC. All these NBC people look like scrubs. I don't think there's been any more scrubby a man than this man that's on the screen right now. His neck fat is folding over his mask, and I think that is a social distancing violation. I'm gonna start off with that. He has piercing blue eyes, though, incredibly pretty. Uh, on that, we have Georgia 49.4% Trump, 49.3% Biden. North Carolina 50% Trump, 48.6% Biden. Those are kind of staying the same. Robert says, I hope Biden wins. Robert, why do you hope Biden wins? What's your, like, so that's the thing. What I've been talking about this stream is that I think, progressive Democrats really like aren't that hype about Biden. A lot of people wanted Bernie Sanders. A lot of people wanted Elizabeth Warren, stuff like that. So if you're big into Biden, what's your hypeness on Biden? What gives Biden the thing that's the preference? Is it just I don't like Donald Trump sort of thing, which is understandable? But what's the like? Do you think Biden will be able to achieve something in office? What's the thing you hope that Biden does? Um, KTM says people, because he did talk about like I'm gonna support people who did and didn't vote for me, which I feel like is weird because that's not why people voted for you. Whatever. Um, Robert says I'm a historian. Interesting. So tell me about history then. Tell me about what you think will a Biden victory will affect in this. KTM says it's extra seal around his mask. It is. You could tell. His green tie is to stop his airway from expanding enough for him to breathe coronavirus out. Uh, KTM says, I hope Trump wins. She looks excited. She also has those piercing blue eyes. Why everybody on NBC have piercing blue eyes? We're going next to Jim, who has piercing blue eyes, and Frank, who has piercing blue eyes. Holy shit. Okay, she's got a solid mask. You could tell her mask is big. It fits well on her face. She's doing the mask right. She looked like she homemade that mask. She was ready for tonight. Um, okay, hold up. So, ooh, interesting. This is an interesting take from Robert Washington out here. Are you sure you're not related to George Washington? Robert said, Biden is great. KTM said, I hope Trump wins. Then Robert comes back with the progressives are communist. Interesting, Robert. Interesting. You're like, Biden's great. I fuck with the Democrats. Liberals are not liberal. Progressives are communists. Interesting. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on that and why. Biden can help. So you're like, Biden will like make things just normal. Like Biden will just balance and make it level and not really do anything. Yeah, Robert's even saying that himself. He's like, Broken's World said, I'm a libertarian. Hold up, there's more news on the Donald Trump, all this mess. Let's look at this. In Georgia, 49% to 44%. Georgia, yep, there you go. You can see all the counties and shit. There you go. Yeah, so we have Broken's World said, I'm a libertarian, so I'm usually neutral. I get that. How do you feel about Liberland then? Broken's World. Dominion of Steel and Iron said Bernie Sanders was our guy. Bernie was the boy. Robert says nothing. Biden will be a footnote. Yeah, like I just think he's kind of there. I don't know why you're like hype about him there. Maybe you're not hype about him, but I'm interested. Blake says I've talked to people from my general demographic, children of interest, immigrants, and most of them are for Biden. It was interesting. One of my friends said is the son of a Russian, and he says he fears Trump. Yeah, Trump's like a concerning ass dude. He really is. He's a concerning because you just don't know what he's gonna do, and I think that's why people like him. But it's also why most people are like, yeah, he's entertaining, but not as the leader of the nation. I don't know. Um, Sadie and Rice says so many people throw around the word communist as if they know what it truly means. LOL, they use it like an elementary school level insult. Agreed. It's really interesting to be like, I know your socioeconomic belief on how the world should be. Like, that's what you're saying. You're like giving a really specific description of like someone's socioeconomic belief, even when it just may not fit it. Like, you could just call them an insult, or you could just, throw their actual ideology under the bus with like some, savviness. But you don't. You just throw communist out there. Like progressive equals communist just doesn't make sense on a logical level. So it's interesting because progressive just means anything that's like a progressive policy. It could be some communist shit, but it could also not be. Blake Marshall says communist and Nazi are such buzzwords now. Agreed. It just seems like the go-to attack for Democrat or Republican, liberal versus conservative. They're like Nazi, communist. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the entire spectrum. You're either a Nazi or a communist, or you're Joe Biden, weirdly a middle ground Nazi communist. Uh, Blake Marshall says someone called Trump a communist, which has no merit. Agreed. I don't think that's accurate at all. Who called Trump a communist? Was he like, I guess I've got Bernie supporters now. You know what I mean? I don't know how that worked. KTM said the left has gone too far, and I don't think Bernie's a communist. No, I was just making the joke. But KTM said the left has gone too far to the left with all the reports of fraud in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and the poll watchers are not being allowed to watch the ballot count is really sus. You're calling the ballot counters white in what is it, Among Us. You're calling them sus Among Us players. That's the task. That's the new task in Among Us is count votes. You're like, and then somebody comes and stabs you in the back. This is a really crazy election. I think Democrats want like really progressive politics. Like I think they want to be hella to the left. I feel like there hasn't been uh, for a lot of people enough, progressive policies. So I think that's just the way that a good bit of the country is kind of going. Um, Robert says a right winger can't be communist. I think they could be. I think depending on their views, I guess. But you're right, they're generally not. KTM says, Robert says communism is the belief that our land and resources should be owned by the state. Uh, no, yeah, not really. I mean, it's the belief that like the people should take back the means of production, sort of thing. But that's also one specific viewpoint in, the large spectrum of things that are communism. Uh, um, so KTM says some Dems aren't even being let into a ballot watch because of how center they are. Uh, Interesting. How center they are. Like how interested in the election they are, or like I'm curious to see what you're talking about there. Um, we got uh, Dominion Steel and Iron. I mean, it's a difference between a senile old man, Joe, and a crazy person, Trump. A senile crazy person. They're both senile crazy people, dude. Both of them. Both of them senile. Both of them crazy. It's an issue. Blake Marshall says a random Republican for Trump in a Dixie comment section. Uh, uh Interesting. Dominion of Steel and Iron says I'd have the senile old man. Fair enough. Agreed. Blake says the Union version, but which one? They're both. Blake Marshall says the Union version of Dixie. LOL. I'm even more confused now, Blake. Dominion of Steel and Iron says in the land down south, in the land of traders, rattlesnakes, and alligators. What? I'm also very confused. What is it? This is Georgia? Hella close. 49.4, 49.3. The difference of 3,000 votes. There's a difference of 3,000 votes right now in Georgia between one and the other. That's ridiculous. Um, Blake Marshall says Republican against Trump. I'm failing with my words. Oh, Republican against Trump. Got you. I was like, a lot of Republicans are for Trump. I'm surprised that you're saying that. Anyway, KTM says they should add that to the Among Us, even if it's for one day. Agreed. Ballot counting should be a thing in Among Us. Uh, I think it'd be great. Broken's World said they both are. Yeah. Robert Washington Jr. says, from a history perspective, Wilson didn't win till 3 days after. Fair enough. And then did the newspaper say Truman went or whatever I know there was like one paper that was famous for like publishing that the wrong guy won, and then I think it was Wilson or Truman like held up the paper during his like victory or whatever that said that the other guy won. Um, House projection, Democrats 226 to Republicans 209. Democrats did take the House pretty heavy. But let's see about those Senate seats. Let's see about those Senate seats because those are super close. I think Republicans are probably going to take the Senate, but that's just measies, though. That's just me. Arizona is 11. If Biden wins Arizona, which it looks like he's going to, that's pretty much going to put him right at the door. That'll put him 11. That would be at 270. Well, hold up. 11 would be 264. So that'd be super close. Georgia, 16 electoral votes. If Trump keeps it, then he'll get those. North Carolina, right now, Trump is winning. This is going to be hella close. If Trump does win, this is going to be crazy. I think everybody's going to flip one way or the other. Dominion of Steel and Iron. Trump sues anything he doesn't like, which makes him an idiot and a crazy person. Opinions thrown out here in the comment section. KTM says, look at the facts that back up Trump, though. Ooh, both are weird parallel. It's interesting to see how diverse the comment section is. It really is cool to see that we have like a pretty wide-ranging audience of political beliefs. I think it's just what micronationalists do, but it is cool. Yeah, I do think just being a super litigious person is weird. I kind of don't like it. But that's just my opinion about being litigious. I feel like if you were in that sort of position, though, like if you're in a political position, you're probably trying to sue over everything anyway, because that's just how things get done. But you're right. I do think Trump is very litigious. Dominion Steel and Iron says, idiot. KTM says, look at the facts that back up Trump, though. Robert Washington says, I always have to deal with South memes being from Texas. Agreed. Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, all of those not Trump memes. Just Jesus Christ, Trump memes. South memes. Yep. There are a ton of South memes for the entire South. Georgia, even though Georgia's not like that South, it's South, to people who aren't actually in the South. Georgia's South. Yeah, I guess like what South Dakota isn't South, like there's certain places that aren't South, but if you're like anywhere, like Tennessee is considered South, but it's not that South. Like, yes, country music. Where the South actually ends is really interesting, I guess, because it's not like one hard cutoff and then it's like that's it. It's kind of a gradient. If you actually are from the South, so it's weird to talk about. But 47 Democrats, 48 Republicans. I think that's going to swap in a minute. No, I don't think it's going to swap. I think it's going to get even more polarized. There's going to be more Republicans in the Senate, I think, here soon. Scarlett Poole said, Trump, Trump, Trump. That is what she said. You can look in the comment section. You can actually see it right up here as it's going on. She said, Trump, Trump, Trump. Oh, my goodness. She sounds like a trumpet playing all them trumps. That shit's crazy. Also, Scarlett Poole, why you got that opinion, girl? Drop it in the comments. Tell us what's up. Bob said in Florida too. Do we have Russian bots in here? Is Scarlett Poole and Bob some Russian bots out here? We got to figure this out. You guys comment besides one or two word comments and let us know what your thoughts are on this election, and subscribe because it helps us. We're trying to get to over here, trying to get to 1,000. We're almost there, and your support would make a cool little animated figure pop up over here, and it would also just be really appreciated. Dominion of Steel and Iron says no spamming. Agreed, but that's how things work. That's how things work in the election. You just scream at people and keep submitting the same name until you get what you want. Clean and Gleam team said, I respect Trump supporters but don't agree. The U.S. voting system is messed up and all candidates come with pros and cons. Agreed. That's what I was talking about with micronationalism. That's what I was talking about with just the idea in general of trying to get something consistent out of a U.S. election. It's just hard and basically almost worthless. I don't think there's any true representation in American democracy, and I think it's just sad to see, and it's not like I'm from the United States, and it's not something like I don't want the United States to be better, because I really do, which is part of the reason why when people were like, well, who do you support, Trump or Trump or Biden is really hard because both of them have like things that are interesting about the way that they affect what it means to be an American. So I think that's what's really polarized the world right now and got everybody in this gridlock. It's hard. It's hard to figure out who the right answer is and what ultimately is going to shape America from that result. KTM says our system is overloaded and dealing with the highest rate of fraud in missing ballots. The U.S. was not prepared for this. Agreed, the U.S. was not prepared for this. And now it's taking hella long and everybody's like weird and everybody's trying to get their results in, but nobody really knows what's happening. It's garbage, as the people say. It's garbage. It's garbage. Garbage. It's garbage. Look at this old white dude chilling on the screen. Is it me? I'm not that old, though. It's that guy. He's more old, though. And that guy is Joe Biden. He's also old, though. I do think it'll be interesting if Kamala Harris does become vice president, though. Because she'll be the first black woman elected to president or vice president. It'll be interesting. Robert says he's back. I'm glad to see you, Robert. I always appreciate seeing you jump in with us. I'm going to grab my drink from the other room. It'll take me like 10 seconds because I am very parched in my throat. Jackson Gaming says, hello, I think your vids are cool. And I too have a micronation. Thank you very much. Jackson, have you subscribed to us? Because if you subscribe to, hey, 943, we just got a new subscriber. And if you have your subscriptions available to be shown, a little figurine will pop up on the screen. And it'll help us get to 1,000 gleam up. I appreciate that. Yeah, for real, if you do subscribe and you have your subscription notifications like allowed to be viewed, it'll pop up on the screen and it'll be like so-and-so subscribed, and it'll be cool. KTM says, Bob, did you vote third party like Joe Jorgensen, the Libertarian candidate? Robert Washington said, you look like a college student. That's accurate. I am a college student, Robert Washington Jr. And Robert Washington Jr., what are your hot takes on first grade, Robert Washington Jr.? Because Robert Washington Jr., you were talking about first grade earlier. And I remember that. I remember specifically because there was some history in your third grade about who the president was, who George Washington was, and who you were. So we got to figure that out. We got to dig deeper. I think there's honestly some collusion going on there. So we're going to have to look further into it. Bob said he's too young to vote. But I tell you what, Bob, you keep believing, you keep dreaming, and eventually you will be old enough to vote. And by that time, you can move to Canada if you want. You know, you can change the world. KTM said, oof. Robert says, I've been watching your channel for a few months. Thank you, Robert. What do you think about it? Tell us your opinion. Tell us your thoughts. Also, have you subscribed, Robert? Because I would appreciate it. Also, then you know we're a micronation. We're trying to change the world. Like, literally, we are trying to change the world on this channel, making a whole new country. That's something that's hard, hasn't really been super possible yet by most standards. You know, there have been places like Sealand, like Molossia, who have attempted it. Sealand, Liberland are some of the more successful realist ones that I've seen, but even them, you know, they have a certain point at which they kind of stop or sort of tip off from their realist nature. So we're trying to push forward and push through, see how far we can get into actually creating a realist nation. So yeah, I definitely, Robert, I definitely appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you. It helps a lot. This guy looks weird. We're going to talk about this guy's face, because he looks like he is about to fall asleep a little bit. He looks like he's trying to see through blinding lights. I think that's what happened. Okay, I figured it out now. It's not that he's falling asleep. It's that people have like these huge studio lights in his eyes, and he's like, yeah. That's what he's looking so strained right now. Sir, sit down. Sir, take a breath, get a water. I'm about to get one too. Jeez. Clean Gleam team said invade Sealand. I don't know about that. And they put those laughing emojis. You may be able to see tiny laughing emojis right there above my head, tickling my hairline. Yeah, that was them telling me to invade another country. And I could do it. I could probably sneak in there and be like, thanks. But I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Could I do it? Yes. Am I cool enough and suave enough to do it? Absolutely. Do I have an army or any weaponry to do it with? No. Do they? Yes. But I mean, still, I'm pretty confident in my chances of success. So we'll see how it goes. KTM said, I wouldn't say our system is trash, as unlike our neighbors, we have managed to keep the same system of government since the founding. I'm not saying that systems are perfect, as seen in this election. I don't think it's good. You say like we've kept the same system, agreed, but it's changed a lot. The meaning has changed a lot. Our constitution has changed a lot. So we've kept the same system, but really just in name. You know what I mean? Like it's so different now. Uh, Sadie and Rice says Sealand fights back. They have in the past. Agreed. They do fight back. And so what I'll do is I'll sneak on, and I'll say please, and then when they say no, I'll leave, and then I'll come back, and I'll come back with a nice large tin of hot chocolate, and I'll bribe them. I'll say if you leave this boat, if you leave this sovereign nation, you'll get a little bit of hot chocolate. And then they'll say no, and then I'll say yeah. Ooh, that's interesting. If you did kill the people in Sealand, I guess because they're British citizens, would the British military come at you? What would actually happen? I'm very curious. Or would they be like, no, it's sovereign. You do whatever. I don't. I feel like at that point Britain would just like intervene and take it over back from whoever killed them and be like, you're on trial now for murder of British citizens. Um, Jackson Gaming says, I'm a sub. Have you ever heard of Isla Wolf? It's an island where my micronation is, but you have a better one than me. BTW, have you had a good day? Hey, thank you, Jackson. I appreciate you subscribing as well. We are trying to get to that 1,000, and every subscription helps. We fluctuate like all the time. I see us like go up 2 subscribers and then down like 7 subscribers and then up like 4 subscribers. So it's really hard to keep a steady number, but I appreciate you guys. I have had a good day. I haven't heard of Isla Wolf, but one thing that you could do to help us know about Isla Wolf, go on our Discord, become a part of our Discord, and submit your nation to our micronational map. We have a micronational map on our website. The link to our website is in the description of this video and basically every other video we've done. And when you go on there, you will see a map of micronations all over the world. Right now we have like 50. We're trying to get one on every continent. We have almost one on every single continent. We have, I think, like 4 or 5 continents covered now. So we're for real getting it. It's pretty cool. Um, uh, Robert Washington Jr. said, hold up. Robert Washington said, micros aren't the future. You go ignored by the government. If you stop paying taxes, you are in a separate nation, police coming to your house. That was very chopped up. I don't think you meant to say those things in those orders, but I definitely understand what you're saying. I do think micronationalism is the way of the future. I don't think you succeed in becoming a micronation by just stopping paying taxes. I think it's kind of like the transition to moving out of a house. You know what I mean? Like when you first uh, you leave your parents' house, right? You're not immediately in a house. If you are, congratulations. If you can afford to buy your own house straight out of your parents' house, congratulations. But that's not how most of us do it. Most of us either rent an apartment or rent another house or live in a dorm room. None of those are actually your property. You are living there, but you have to regularly pay someone else for the ability to live there. It is your space to do with to some certain degree as you choose. So you can say this is my residence, which is accurate, but it's not accurate to say it is completely owned and operated by me, because it's not. So it's a stepping stone. It's a way to get where you're trying to go. And I think that's the way that micronationalists should look at it. If you own land in a macronation, you can't do anything you want. You can't start executing people on your land just willy-nilly. Agreed. You can't stop paying taxes to the nation who legally does own the land and who has the military might to back it up. Agreed. But what you should do is take a look at that and say, even though we can't do those extremes things, there's still a lot that we can do to further our cause and to build up a legitimate nation. And from there, use the resources we gather while on their land to further the advance for getting our own land that is separate, potentially going into space, potentially, you know what I mean? Like, there are companies right now, not even huge companies, companies who launch things into space. There are CubeSat companies that are like 5 guys, you know what I mean? So if you start a nation, it wouldn't be that hard to put a boat out into the water and to call that sovereign, which it would be if you're in international waters. It wouldn't be that crazy to, launch a satellite and eventually get a manned space flight or a space station into orbit. Those things are possible. There are already micronations who are actively attempting that. So it's not that micronationalism can't be done. It's not that, oh, it's just a waste of time or whatever. If you look at it like that, you're ignorant. It's a stepping stone. And if you can't see the forest for the trees, that's your fault. It's not anybody else's. So if you feel like micronationalism is a waste of time, I'm sorry to hear that. But for a lot of people, they understand that it's not, and they understand that there's a path forward if you work at it. Um, Robert Washington Jr. said, like, if they saw a micronation as a threat, they would have done way more. Agreed. I don't think they think they're a threat, and micronations shouldn't be a threat to macronations. They should be a way to change macronations and a way to find legitimate independence from them without violence. Robert Washington Jr. says, like, if you stop paying taxes, police will be there. If you kill someone, police will be there. If the government actually cared or saw you as a threat, they would have done something. We just kind of discussed that, yeah. Bob says the hot chocolate would be enough to bribe me. Thank you. Exactly. I drank some hot chocolate the other day. It was delicious, by the way. I think hot chocolate's the way to go to bribe anyone off their own national territory. Clean Gleam team said a judge ruled that Britain would have no jurisdiction over sea land, so they wouldn't. Okay. Like, I still feel like the British government would come in and fuck you up, like if you killed the Bates family, because they are British citizens. They're not. They have that independent territory or whatever, but if you kill them out there, they probably will just go out there. Just as their own nation, just being like, nope, it is an independent thing. We're just come and kick ass. Um, KTM said, gotta head out, but I may come back. All right. See you then, my homie Fresh. Um, KTM said, have a good night. Have a good night, KTM. Robert said, have you fought a civil war? I have not fought a civil war. We don't even have a military. We are a peaceful micronation. We're hoping to advance our cause for independence through economic gains and through building a base for ourselves, having people come onto land that we purchase ourselves that is fully owned and operated by us, though we will pay taxes to a macronation on that land, and then from there actually building housing there, building a community there of people who live and work under the government that we have created there, and then from there actually moving to use the resources of that government and of that area in order to further the cause of independence by creating more businesses, by creating more ways to interact with other nations, and with being able to unite active realist micronations on a similar level, and also to be able to support the cause of micronationalism in general by providing further resources for the micronational community as a whole. So if you're interested in all that, definitely subscribe and keep up with us, because that's what we're doing all the time. Jackson said, okay, I will go check, but it is in the Galapagos Islands. That's awesome. Do you live in the Galapagos Islands? Like, hit us up. How is that? I think the Galapagos Islands are specifically like protected territory, but where do you actually live? And if you use that as your micronational territory, we can definitely put that on the map. That'd be pretty cool. Sadie and Rice said, clean and gleam, that is correct. Yeah. Kevin said, the Biden crime family is covering up the election. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Well, Kevin, come on. Kevin, that's not, Kevin is a name that sounds like, Kevin, you very well may be an adult, and you very well may be somebody who is like well versed on this election and really understands what they're doing. But the name Kevin does sound like a teenager. Like, it's just like not having like a last name on your account or like having like a different, just the name Kevin as your account. First off, that's impressive. Like that you're the person who got the name Kevin on YouTube. That's really cool. Like there wasn't other Kevins vying for that. You were the one who got it first. I guess that may make you like someone who's pretty like older, more experienced on the internet. But it is interesting because that seems like it would mean that you're like a it just sounds like a teenager. I don't know. Like it sounds like a parent like fussing at their kid. Kevin, get off the YouTubes. Stop telling them to vote Trump. Kevin, get off. Kevin, Kevin, what are you doing, Kevin? Kevin, look at you. Look at you being politically active in the United States, Kevin. Kevin. Uh, Robert Washington says, "I like the people. I like people like you trying to do something instead of little kids saying I have a nation and backyard and fighting wars uh, with Nerf guns." Agreed. That would be dumb. Don't do that. Um, Robert Washington said, "Remember this. Just don't do anything to screw up your micronation." Agreed. That's very, very important. Don't do anything to screw up your micronation. Do things to enhance it and make it prosperous. Kevin. I just love it. I just love like complaining with the name Kevin. Kevin. Hold up. Sadie, we're about to get to Ryan's fresh ass take here. Give me 1 second. Uh, Ray said it was Sadie and Rice. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Give me a boat and I will sail out beyond the 200 miles limit and declare independence. Do it. Do it. Sadie and Race, we're actually like building a boat for our micronation. I haven't posted the footage, but we're building a big raft for our micronation. So if you want to join the Empire of Eternity, if you want to link up and us work together, we could do it, man. We really could. Especially if you got them sailing skills, ooh boy, we could get it today. Not literally today, but we could do it. Bob says, "Okay, I gotta go. Bye, bye, Bob. Bye, Bob. Tell your brother Kevin to stop getting on these YouTubes telling people about Trump." Um, Quantum Vortex Energy said, "My mattress has more memory than Joe Biden." That was a good one. I actually really liked that one. That was funny. My mattress has more memory than Joe Biden. That sounds like a bar. Quantum, do you rap? Do you rap? Because you should. That was a bar. That was a bar and a half. Strongman said, "Very cool micronation. I appreciate it. I think you're a very cool strongman." We got 12 viewers. I appreciate y'all. And the more y'all hit up that subscribey, the more cool little animations we'll see up in the corner. And also that little bar will keep ticking up. We already went up one since the stream started. All Artist Propaganda, aka Ryan, said, "When Aiden needs to pad for time so he rants about Kevin." First off, you're right. Second off, you spelled my name wrong. So either you're not talking about this Aiden or you're not talking about that Kevin, because Kevin needs to know what's up. Dominion of Iron says, "All right, I'm heading to bed." Good night, Dominion of Steel and Iron. Charles, definitely keep up with us. Charles may potentially be a new citizen for Eternia, which will be exciting. Charles, I'm excited to see what you do. We're all like voting you in as we speak, so get ready. I'm really hype about it. Jackson said, "No, I live in the USA, but I plan to move soon. But right now, it's in AL. Might not be far from where you are, like west, east, south, north AL. Northern Alabama is where we are. And also, Jackson, that's very, very cool. I hope you're also in North Alabama. We're trying to get some conferences together so that we'll be able to do things in like the South and like the East Coast and the West Coast and the North. We're going to figure out where we want to start doing conferences for micronations. So if you end up putting your micronation on our micronational map, join Discord, put your nation on our micronational map, and we will add you into our plans for where we're going to be doing these conferences, because we want to do them in places where it's not that hard for people to get to, maybe an hour, 2, 3 drive, so that people can make it there and back in a day. Vortex Quantum Energy said, "Remember, kids, you can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out." Ooh, Quantum, you're getting more and more gangster by the second. First, you were giving us those hot rap bars. Now you're giving us some shoot 'em up lyrics. This is you're crazier than Eminem, Quantum. Kevin says that's because you can't help yourself but subconsciously think of Home Alone when you see or hear the name Kevin. That's right. The uh, Hollywood has slowly mind controlled me by making me think of Home Alone every time I think of Kevin. That's very accurate. I really appreciate it. That was some good insight on the jokes. I really like that. Uh, Kevin, have you ever been compared to Home Alone, or like is that something that you've recognized? Like, have you watched Home Alone and you were like, this is fucking up my whole life right now. People are really destroying my ability to self recognize. Did you get the name on YouTube Kevin to specifically spread pro Kevin information, the truth about Kevin's? Strongman says this micronation will invade the world. I really appreciate it, but don't tell everyone our plans, bro. Stop telling them. If you tell them, then they'll know. Stop. Strong man. Strong man. Stop telling everybody we're gonna invade the world. All right, we're not. We're not. Strong man, Kevin. Stop telling everybody we're gonna invade the world. All right, would you? Just because we're gonna do it a little doesn't mean we're trying to let everyone know. Uh, Dominion of Steel and Iron says quantum vortex energy. LO. I thought you were going to bed. I thought go to bed. Charles, I appreciate you, and I'm excited to have you as a citizen. Go to bed. Robert says, I saw this teenager. He runs Soldavia and claims to be a Führer. Yeah, it seems hella fascist. Yep. His micronation fascist Soldavia, right? Yep. Uh, All artist propaganda says you can't vote yourself into socialism. Now Ryan's about to have the political debate of the century out here. This is about. Sorry for all that noise. My mic fell. This is gonna be crazy. Uh, Jackson, make sure you have parental supervision when you're on the internet. I just saw that shit. Jackson said he's 11. Jackson, I am 22 years old. I am double your age. If you took your age and you multiplied it by 2, I am 2 Jacksons. I am 2 Jacksons worth of age. Do not make sure your parents know what you're doing, Jackson. Be cautious. Make your parents your micronational strategists and security committee, and submit your approvals to them for them to understand what you're doing on the internet, because it's important, Jackson. Especially as a micronational leader, you always need advisors. Your parents, great advisors. My parents, best advisors I've ever had. Real talk. Quantum Vortex Energy said, mind control and communication with anyone in the world is easy. There's a simple gadget called a cell phone. Well, I'll tell you what, Quantum Vortex Energy, you have turned my tide on several issues now, and honestly, I can't stop thinking about how gangster you are. Quantum Vortex Energy says, however, the cell phone with all of its technology is no match to the communication device that is typical in every brain. In the brain? Is there a communication device in the brain? Like, is it just the processing ability? Because I would think the mouth would be the communication device, but I don't know. Maybe there's a telepathy that I don't know about it. Quantum Vortex Energy got the quantum energy to describe to us futuristic biology tech. Kevin said, no, Kevin's my real name. I know Kevin's your real name. Kevin, I know it's your real name, Kevin. But are you still using the YouTube channel Kevin to promote Kevin propaganda? That's honestly, you should make a YouTube channel all about Kevins, and I would honestly subscribe to that. I really would. If you were like, hey guys, I'm Kevin, and today we're going to be talking about all the famous Kevins out there. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Kevin, and today we're going to be talking about all of the top 10 misconceptions people have about Kevins. Hey guys, today we're going to be looking up Urban Dictionary, Kevin. Hey guys, today, I just feel like I'd love that. That'd be my favorite YouTube channel. Quantum Vortex Energy says the hardware has always been there. The only discrepancy is that it's a collective few who actually know how to use it. Okay, now you're getting into legitimate Quantum Vortex Energy conspiracy theories. Robert, or you're a time traveler and you're just schooling us all and none of us recognize it. Robert Washington Jr. says, please don't invade U.S. You will be laughed at as radical on the news. Robert, Robert, don't tell him. Robert. Blake Marshall says, back what's going on. Well, we're certainly not talking about taking over the world. That's not, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't talk about that. Sadie and Rice says, Macon, Georgia seems close to a midpoint for all the micronations in the southeast U.S. Agreed. Macon, Georgia does seem like a really good place to do a potential meetup. I was also thinking of, to get the ones on the East Coast as well, I was thinking maybe like North Georgia to like South Carolina, something like that. Might be an interesting way to go. I was even thinking all the way up to like Virginia potentially, but Virginia is like pretty east. I think at that point you would like exclude everybody who's in like Mississippi and all those other places. Jackson said, they now the name is Green A Stan Ut. I'm so confused. You are right, people can be sus on here. Quantum Vortex Energy says, when a brilliant mind has a thought in their brain with magical insights, that is world changing. The black budget world already knows. We have technology at that level of spyware. That's pretty cool. Are you a spy kid yourself? Quantum Vortex Energy says, vital information is mostly kept away from average citizens. What ends up in the hands of the public is diluted to the point of usefulness. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I feel like just cell phones pretty useful. People like commit large scale bank fraud with like cell phones and stuff. So I don't know. Pretty useful. Robert Washington Jr. says, you would be laughed at as a radical if you invade. Agreed. Don't do that. You'd lose. Don't. You gotta get the hearts and minds. You gotta get the eyeballs of people's soul. Quantum Vortex Energy says, there's been so much secrecy and disinformation over the last 200 years that it become impossible to prove anything in the face of official denial. Nah, there's like proof. Proof exists for certain things. Proof doesn't exist for opinions, which I feel like is stuff that people forget a lot. But there's like proof for legitimate things. I work in a scientific field. I work in physics, and that's a field where there's a ton of stuff that's proven all the time. It's just not able to be like disagreed with. If you prove it, you proved it. And people who would continue work on that and find something new aren't like debunking your thing most of the time. They're just furthering the evidence for it or fine-tuning special cases for it. Same thing with Newtonian mechanics and Einstein's general relativity. That was just a specification on special circumstances for Newton's theory of gravitation. Quantum Vortex Energy says there's been Bob says, I'm back. Also spare Florida. You don't want to deal with us crazies anyway. But I have fam in Florida. Fam, I'm a little bit of a Florida man myself. So I've got some Florida man blood in me. You don't know. I'll bite a gator. I'll do it. You don't know me. Sadie and Rice said, well, that would include the Northeast U.S. also. Agreed. That's what I'm trying to figure out, is like I want to include as many places as possible, but I don't want it to be so far for like people who I would try to include that they just wouldn't show up. Like, I guess what I'll do is I'll do one that's specifically based around the South, do one that's Southeast, one that's based specifically around the East Coast, one that's based specifically around the West Coast, one that's based specifically in like the North or whatever. Sadie and Rice says, well, that would include, Blake Marshall says, I honestly haven't really heard of any other New England micronations. We'll look it up right now. There may not be any in New England specifically, but there are probably some pretty close, Blake. Are you on our micronational map? Because have you checked the micronational map to see if there are others? Daniel Maloney says, don't invade America. Uncle Sam will mess you up. Agreed. He'll give you the 1-2 knock 'em out. It's an issue. Quantum Vortex Energy says, at this stage, civilians are too intellectually and technologically feeble to detect, much less comprehend the kind of communication that's occurring amongst much more advanced species. Now you're just talking about aliens. Now he's just talking about straight up aliens. Dude, you know about aliens? Can you hit us up? There are like a people who I think I'm pretty smart. There are a ton of people who are a lot smarter than me, like top tier guys who are like well known like academics who would love to know about aliens. If you got some aliens you hiding, bro, hit us up. Jackson Gaming says, sorry, I mean that my country is called Greenistan. How big is your micronation? Mine is 5 miles. 5 miles is impressive. Ours is not nearly 5 miles. Ours is like feet. Like ours is probably, you know, like 800 square feet, something like that. Less, maybe. Like not that much. 500, 600 square feet. Not a ton of space. But it's growing, especially online. We have a strong economy for the size that we are, which is pretty interesting. Robert Washington said, when I first learned of micronations, I was imagining Molossia fighting the United States with bombs, and the U.S. literally killed Baugh and everyone. Yeah, that could happen. Well, no, it couldn't happen because Baugh doesn't want that. But if they were fighting, then yeah, the U.S. would kick the shit out of them. Quantum Vortex Energy says yes, UFOs are real. Some are property we own. Some are off-world devices. Most of what is witnessed is ours. That's cool. Do you specifically, do you Quantum Energy Vortex have aliens? Do you not like we have, the world has, I'm displaying information. Give me some evidence from you directly, Quantum Vortex Energy. You produce it. You say, here's my name. Here's my driver's license. Here's this alien. His name's Doug. I got him locked in the cellar. Sadie Rice says, Blake, I see two others in the Northeast, but they seem to be defunct. Defunct? Hold up. You talking about defuncties? Why are you talking about defuncties? Are there some defuncties on our map? I don't want no defuncties. I want some live action micronations. We in New England. Where New England at? New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, New Hampshire, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, New York, Rhode Island. Am I just crazy? Where's New England? These are interesting questions. Jump back in. Look at this guy with the mask. Very cool. Very nice. Killing the game. Okay. Quantum says, life exists all around us. We're visited all the time, and our civilian space program has found all kinds of things on the moon to indicate civilizations, previous if not current. Well, that's interesting. Like NASA? Because I fuck with NASA. I don't see civilizations on the moon. Daniel Maloney says, also, I need to bring this to your attention, AP. Logan has been openly attacking me with his alt accounts and has been harassing me. The Micronational Assembly, they are going after me. What exactly are your thoughts on this, and what would you do to say to them? What would you say to them if you had the chance to call them out? Well, I guess I always have the chance to call them out. I didn't know it was happening, first off, and I guess it sucks that anyone would be like being negative or bullyish in the micronational community. It really just seems like that means that they're not confident in their own abilities. So I'd say do you and show them up. Blake Marshall says, Chloe's kind of close to me on the map, New Jersey. Chloe is cool. She actually is. Like, I haven't been able to contact her in a minute. I don't know what's going on with her, but if anybody can find her, I miss her. She's very cool. Jackson Gaming says, Isla Wolf is 5 miles long, but there's two main ones, and the small one, big one, is like 5 times bigger. That's really cool. Robert Washington Jr. says, I also remember watching the Family Guy episode where Peter tries to start his own kingdom and the military sieges their house out. Agreed. That's actually, Pretoria is actually really, really cool. I would love to see more about Pretoria or whatever, in the like Family Guy canon. Also, I think it would have been really cool if they went a different direction with the episode and they not like got into a military thing. If they just started like chilling and like because he like tried to annex territory and shit from the U.S., which was weird. But if he didn't, it would have been really interesting. Um, Sadie and Rice says defunct equals not functioning. I know what defunct means, Ray. I'm just saying I didn't want any defunct nations. I didn't want any functies up in our map. I wanted all live players in the game. You feel me? Quantum Vortex Energy says there are two reasons for lack of serious disclosure on these subjects. One, our planet civilization would suffer huge social and economic upheavals. Two, crimes against humanity. The government would essentially have to admit outdoing Hitler as perpetrating the most heinous crime against humanity. Uh, I don't know about all that. Hitler was pretty big. Also, I feel like there'd be evidence of mass scale genocide or like people getting abducted or whatever. Also, like irrefutable evidence. Also, um, economic upheavals. I feel like hitting up humanity with aliens and alien technology would probably be great. So I don't know that it'd be that crazy. Blake Marshall says New England is kind of like a coalition of states. That's pretty cool. Collecting to form a region. Oh, okay. Well, there are a few then up in the Northeast. Quantum Vortex Energy said $1 million secrets regarding abductions, assassinations, fraudulent technology patents, ongoing above top secret projects, discrediting witnesses and ruining careers. I don't think it'd be that crazy. Like for aliens to like discover that we're not alone in the universe, I feel like anybody would be like, yeah, it's worth it. Whatever. Like y'all fucked with stuff. Okay, cool. Aliens. Hit us up with aliens. Aliens. Come on, aliens. What? Looking for aliens. I don't. Um, all artist propaganda said New England are states east of New York. Gotcha. I'm being educated on what New England is. Thank you. I was looking for New England on the map. I should have felt more played than I did. Okay, so east of New York. So north of New York, basically. So, well, I guess east. Yeah. Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine. Um, yeah, it seems like Blake Marshall, you're really one of the only ones. She's not that close. Gaia is not that far from you. There are some places up in Canada that are like two places up in Canada that are not far at all if you care to go past Maine. But I would definitely suggest hitting up people on like Twitter and Discord and stuff. Twitter and Reddit and Twitter and Instagram and being like, hey, if y'all are anywhere in the Northeast, hit up the micronational map so that we can put y'all on there and we can know about it. Um, uh, so um, Jackson said I have to put my micronation on map. We would like it. Yeah, please do. Join our Discord and put it on there. Blake says uh, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, New York, Massachusetts, Vermont. Sadie and Rice says, yeah, but Northeast includes more than those. Blake says Northeast. Yeah, Robert says, can the Micronational Assembly fight in wars like the UN? No. Micronational, nobody can really fight wars, you know what I mean, as a micronation. Blake says, Northeast, we have like 3 in the map. Yeah, agreed. You and 2 in Canada that I see. Which I want to see more. I really, really do. I want to see more stuff hit up. I think it would be good for us. Also, I appreciate you, Jackson Gaming. I appreciate you, sir, um, for subscribing to us. Robert Washington. Oh, Blake Marshall said. Oh, Robert Washington said he invades Joe's pool. I know he takes over Joe's pool and he invites a whole bunch of like autocrats to hang out in Joe's pool. I really want to see more. Sadie and Rice says Blake, yes, and yours is the only one of the 3 that seems to be active. Blake says I saw that episode. AP meant the definition for those who may not know. Got you. Appreciate it. I was trying to defend my own ignorance, I guess. Blake Marshall said, would love a sort of northeastern con. Yeah. Yes. We really want to try and do stuff like that. I really want to go to a more populated area. I know if we did it in like New York or somewhere like that, like there would be some attendance. Like if you really like advertised it out and you really, even if people didn't have microdata, they'd show the fuck up to see people in uniforms and stuff. Like it'd be interesting, especially from all over. Uh, Quantum said, take it from someone who knows fully gravitational time dilators, temporary transversal wormholes, Planck possible illusion mitigate, and really cool is weaponized when someone is leaked. I would really love more information about that, I guess, if it's something that can be proved. Quantum Vortex Energy, see ya. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It means a lot. It really does help the channel. And thank you. I can't wait to have more interesting conversation with you, Quantum Vortex. Kevin said, Biden crime family is covering up the election. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Give us our freedom, Kevin. Kevin from Home Alone. Give us our freedom, Kevin. Kevin, show up and give us our freedom, Kevin. We appreciate you, Kevin. But yeah, I'm heckin' hype about it. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's prettily diddly cool. This lady, she looks like the mom for not the mom, the aunt. She looked like Aunt Becky. That's what it is. That lady looked like Aunt Becky from Full House. That was what I was thinking of. 226 to 209 still in those seats. I was trying to hope to get some new information out of the election before we left the stream. I'm not gone yet. We're still in it, but we gotta see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna play some more cool ass music as we continue on. And then we're gonna see how this goes. But we gotta look at this lady, Georgia. 99% in, 16 electoral votes, 49.4% for Trump, 49.3% for Biden. 99% of the votes are in. That's insane. Pennsylvania, 49.7% for Trump, 49.0% for Biden. Trump would win 20 electoral votes right now, and the difference is 50,000 votes. Nevada's 6. Biden has 49.4 there to 48.5. It's gonna be a close ass race. Whoever wins, it's gonna be a close race, dude. 89% in Nevada. North Carolina, 15 electoral votes, 50% for Trump, 95% and 48.6 for Biden. Trump could still get it. Trump could still win. This is interesting. If he wins the 15 and the 20, he would be up matching Joe Biden, potentially passing Joe Biden out here. This would be crazy. It just depends on how many states are left. I don't know that he has the chance to catch up and pass, but he might. This is coming down to the wire, guys. Also, Alaska has what? 3 electoral votes, 56% of their stuff is in, but they're like going hard Trump. It's 108,000 to 56,000, 62.9% for Trump. So Trump's getting Alaska. Probably knew that. Probably could have guessed that. These are the questions, dude. There are like a couple states it's coming down to. Pennsylvania and Arizona, Nevada, those places are where it's coming down to. Ryan Ambrose said Trump for prison 2021. Ryan got the shit out of him. Played him. Sadie and Rice said all American politicians are the devil. Fair enough. That's accurate. Kevin said Joe Biden is the devil. Kevin, stop declaring the devil, Kevin. Raymond said all American politicians are the devil. That's factual. Ryan says Trump for prison 2021. Blake says if Trump won everything he's leading right now, he could get 270. Agreed. That's the thing that's interesting. This could be a hella tight race, and he could pull through. Blake says Biden's oh so close to stealing Georgia. Agreed. It's like, but it's 99%. They're 99% in, and Trump is still there. So if Trump just holds it, he's got Georgia, and then it's gonna be like, oh, whoa, and then it's gonna be like the meme where everybody's like, oh, and then Trump's gonna be like, in the thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know that meme with the hype, like I'm not a rapper thing. Y'all know. For those of you who don't know, it's a meme. Go look it up. The like I'm not a rapper meme or whatever. Super hot fire, I think is the name of the thing. The video that it's from. Blake Marshall says if Trump won everything he's leading right now, he could get 270. Ryan Ambrose says, sorry, but the math says Trump loses. Agreed. The math, well, right now it's looking like Trump will lose, but it's so close. It's so close. It could really go either way. Um, Broken's World said Kanye is going to win this, obviously. And honestly, I have to agree with Broken's World. Kanye is going to win this. There's no question about it. And honestly, everyone else should just drop out of the race by now. Blake Marshall says craziest election. Agreed. I really do want to see Kanye end up winning it. I would love it if both of the candidates just as a team like came out on stage and were like, we're both ending this election in support of Kanye West. Kanye, come out. I really would be curious if both of the presidential candidates for the Democratic and Republican parties dropped out right now. If they were both like neither of us want to be president, who would win? Like, who is the third party with enough votes to pull through? I would just be freaked. If it was Kanye, that would be insane. Kanye would pass out. I would love it. I would love to see Kanye pass out when he wins the presidency. 214 to 253 right now. Pennsylvania's close. Nevada with the 6 electoral, 89% in. Difference is like 10, 12,000 votes, something like that. North Carolina, Trump is holding on to 15 electoral votes, 95% of the vote in, but Biden's getting close. In Nevada, Trump is close to Biden, but they're still saying it's too close to call. How many votes are not in yet? These are the questions. They're still saying it's too close to call. 11,000 votes different in Nevada. Georgia is incredibly close. Georgia should probably just be in by now. I don't understand what's going on. Come on, Georgia, hit us up with those answers. You got 99% of your votes in? Are you for real? Come on, Georgia. Pennsylvania's got 94% of their votes in, and Trump's still winning by literally like 30,000 votes, 40,000 votes, something like that. Well, yeah, like 40 something thousand votes. Crazy. North Carolina, 15 electoral. Trump's winning by like less than 100,000 votes, like 60, 70,000 votes. 95% of North Carolina's in. Agreed. If he just holds all of it, he's gonna win, and it's gonna be insane. Everything's gonna blow the fricky dick up. Biden came out with like confidence, and Trump came out and said he won. So that's the thing that's interesting to me, is that who's gonna look like the asshole here? Is Biden gonna be like, oh, I freaking lost, and like, I'm just curious to see how Biden will react if he loses. He's probably gonna be like, the best man win or whatever. If Trump lost, he'd throw a fit. I am really curious to see how this is gonna go. Blake says Howie Hawkins would probably win. She's got 1.32% of the popular vote. That's crazy. Howie Hawkins. I haven't even heard of Howie Hawkins. Who's Howie Hawkins? Broken World said if Trump won all the states he's leading, he would get 268. I think Joe would win. I think Joe Mama would probably win the popular vote. If Trump won all the states he's leading, he would get 268. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so he'd get 268. He wouldn't even win. It's gonna be close, dude. It's gonna be such a close race. Blake says, but I would love to see Kanye win it. Biden's 3,000 away. Nail biter. Agreed. It's climbing up. It's getting so close. Ooh, it's so close. I really don't know who's about to win this thing. Anybody have any like hot take popular opinions out here? John Ralston looking gross. John, shave before you get on NBC, alright? Alright, John, go ahead and shave before you popping up on NBC. Nobody wants to see your beard. Nobody wants to see your sicky beard, bro. You think you cooling out here, John? I don't even. Ugh. Ugh, bro, your beard. Um, 49.4. It's so close, dude. It's so close. I don't even understand what's happening anymore. Oh, and I really want to. Okay, guys, give me like 10 seconds. I'm going to be back to see this through. I want to see whenever they get in the results for Nevada or Georgia, because Georgia's like right there. Howie Hawkins has 0.2%. You probably meant Joe Jorgensen, the candidate for the Libertarian Party. That one's also interesting. Joe Jorgensen, I don't know much about either. I'll be right back. I said I'll be right back. Y'all know I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Hey everybody, it's me, your boy, the Fresh Take, the new news. We're in here. Sorry I didn't give y'all any music. That was silent. Y'all had to look at these ugly NBC people. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, y'all. We had something going for a second, but obviously these ugly NBC people messed it all up for y'all. I don't even know what happened. Ew. Here we go. Okay, look at how concerned this man looks. He looked like he's smiling and crying at the same time. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're gonna be back in these comments for y'all. I'm catching up. Jackson Gaming, ooh, hit us up. Said, hey, I'm back. I can't get on my Discord, but my micronation is 100 miles from land. Well, East the Wolf is that far from land. May your nation have great days in the sun to be alive. Have a good night, my friend. Have a good night as well, Jackson. It was good to talk to you and good to see you. Blake says Biden went to PA 14 times. Wow, that's cool. Ooh, did we ever get any news on Georgia? Did Georgia ever come in yet? Uh, Google says Georgia's tied in percentage. Broken Girl said, yeah. Blake Marshall says surprised Pennsylvania isn't that close. Blake Marshall says Biden went to PA 14 times. Blake Marshall says good night. Oh, Blake, you going to bed as well? I hope you have a good nighty night as well, Blake. If you going to bed. Um, um, I want to see what's going on. Okay, so we got Pennsylvania. Let me see if I can get y'all in good with this. Okay, so this is Pennsylvania right here. Let me grab this guy. So this is Nevada, 49.4 to there. That's Nevada. 89% is in now in Nevada. And the polls are probably closed. The polling places are probably closing pretty quickly, so it's probably going to be tomorrow before we actually have anything confirmed. North Carolina, 15 electoral votes, 95% in, 50% for Trump, 48.6 for Biden. Oh, this is crazy. So if Biden wins North Carolina, he has that 15, and like if he holds it, because it's 95%, it could swing still, but it's close. Jackson, look down in the description. Do you have a mail? Yes, I do. It's eternianempire@gmail.com. Sadian Rice is absolutely right. Look down in the description, and you can email us. If you email us the information for your nation, we can also put it on our micronational map. So hit us up, email us. Link is in the name of the email is in the description, and we will hook you up, dude. Also, have a good night. Jackson Gaming says, I know I can't get on Discord. Yeah, the email should be in the description as well. Our email address should be written in the description. Georgia says 16 electoral votes, 99% in. I want to see it hit 100. I want to see it hit 100. I am so salty B, dude. I want to see it hit 100. But yeah, I guess we're not going to see it hit 100. That sucks. Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes. I'm going to Google real quick just to see if they're still counting in Georgia. Is Georgia still counting? Georgia officials expect ballot counting. This is from like 9 hours ago. Okay, there's an ad, so I'm not going to show y'all this right away. But long ad. Okay, well, I'm going to give y'all some cool music to jam out to while we sit here, talk about everything. We're going to have another cool ad, a Friends ad. Love it. This has some cool jams to it. But yeah. So we're looking at 253 to 214 still. It looks so close. And I'm so salty with this election. I think everybody is salty with this election. But oh my God. It's just sad. I don't know what the better outcome would have been. That it be close or that one of them win by like a landslide because or win by like a ton. Because on the one hand, if it's really close, that means a lot of people came out. It means that the country is really divided, though. If one wins by one, it means either the country was really, really certain on what they wanted to do, which is bad, I guess, but also it means that uh, potentially a lot of people didn't come out to vote. So, you know, pros and cons. These are the issues. And then, yeah, I wanted to see if Georgia's still counting. To finish Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. What? Are they done? Is this still live? Video is concluded. Yeah, yeah. So when are these votes in Georgia gonna be done? I want to see what they're saying here. Ew. She not that hype. She's not that hype. I'm gonna be real with you. She looks hella energetic, but she's not that hype. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All these people paying attention. This man in the suit posing hard. I said this man in the suit. I think they're both in suits, but whatever. Uh, I want to know what y'all's opinion on all of this is, because it's just dummy close. And I want to know at the end of the night if so, like, could we know by the end of the night if Trump has like lost the ability to win, or like if he's still in it? Because if Georgia ended up in Biden's favor, like if right at the end of the night it just flipped and it was in Biden's favor and then they cut it off, would Trump be done? These are the questions. Because he may not be able to get 270 at that. Like once Biden would win Georgia, if he does win Georgia, that just may be game. And these are my questions. We have 15. Hey, we have 7 people watching. Thank you so much. 11 electoral votes, 50.1% to 48.5%. It's by like maybe 40,000 votes. 90% of the vote is uh, in Arizona. Crazy, crazy close. Georgia, 16 electoral votes, 99% in. That's the one we're waiting on. 49.4 to 49.4. It's tied. Are you see? No. Trump's winning by less than 2,000 votes, I think. Pennsylvania, 49.7 to 49. Trump's winning, but it's 94% in. Oh, goodness. Oh, this is stupid close. By what? 30,000 votes? Nevada's 6 electoral votes. 89% in. 49% is going to Biden. 48.5% is going to Trump. Trump's losing, but not by a ton. North Carolina, Trump is winning. Trump just might game it. I don't know. He came back. He came back pretty good. I don't know. My prediction was that Biden had it, but now everything's flipped. I really don't know. This is game time right now. This is... Ooh, hold up. They coming up with it. Oh, I thought they were... Ooh. They played me with an ad. What? I thought they had it. I thought they knew something. Ah, we love these ads, don't we? We about to watch a whole bunch of ads? This is the question. Cause I ain't yucking with it. Alright, we about to pause this till they come back. So I don't even want that. Hold up. We watching all these ads out here. I don't even... Who even likes ads out here? I sure don't. Every time they, oh, look, another ad even on our music. They're always trying to give us ads. And then I'm going to try and put ads on our videos once we get 1,000 subscribers, and I'm be a hypocrite. So look out. um, I'm just desperately trying to see if Georgia will hurry up and give us an answer tonight. Georgia, we need you. Somebody in Georgia, go ahead and finish these ballots right now. Come on, y'all. Georgia, Georgia, give us your prayers. Give us your thoughts. Somebody in Georgia, tell us where these ballots are at. Give us the inside scoop. Cause geez, we got we got the whole. Hey, BG World Studio said hi. What's going on, BG? I haven't really seen you on the channel before, but if you're new, we are a micronational YouTube channel. We're almost at 1,000 subs if you actually look up there. So I definitely recommend you subscribing to help us get to that 1,000. Being a micronation, we are trying to make a new country. Uh, we are trying to make an entirely new country, so this is a really cool thing. Also, taking the perspective of a new nation on the U.S. election is really crazy to talk about and to see all these other micronations talking about. Big World Studio said, this is such a close election. Who are you supporting? That's a fantastic question. We're trying to figure that out right now. As a micronation, I don't have a preference. I think Trump winning helps micronations because I think a lot of Democratic supporters would go there. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Big World Studio. We've got to check that out. Also, um, so if Trump won, it would help micronations, I think, because Democrats really, really do not like Trump, and so I think they're looking for an outlet to Trump, to be against Trump. So if Trump wins again, which it looks like he potentially could, I didn't think it was possible. Now it looks like he's winning in the states he needs potentially. If he comes back, then it's going to be a thing where he could get enough, which would make Democrats be looking for a way out of Trump land and potentially into micronationalism. But if Biden wins, I think it'll bring an era of more normalcy back to the U.S., which if the U.S. is doing good, it means more than likely micronations are doing good. There are a lot of micronations in the U.S., so I think, at least for my micronation, it would be not a bad thing if Biden won, but also, it depends on how you're looking at it. So, what about you, Big World Studio? This is a crazy close election. We're trying to keep up with it. I have no idea, to be honest with you. What do you think? Do you have a preference? We've been talking about other people's preferences all night, and I am really, really excited to see what the answer to this ends up being. We're waiting on Georgia right now. We are at 945 subs, guys. I have to thank you guys so much. We are almost at 950. Once we get to 950, that's basically game. We can get 50 subscribers in not that long. TRC said, hello, what's going on, TRC? We miss you. We've seen you before here on the channel. It's 49.4 to 49.4. I think Georgia's going to be where this election ultimately ends up. 49.4 to 49.4, 16 electoral votes. If Biden wins Georgia, it's game. If Trump wins Georgia, it's game. This is going to be crazy. Well, I don't know if it's game if Trump wins Georgia, because if the other states go Biden, then it's not. But if Biden wins Georgia, I think it's game for Trump. So this is close. Hey, that's awesome. Hold up. First off, TRC said hi. Big World said BTW TRC is the guy that introduced me to your channel. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, TRC. I will get you back into the Discord. I'm still banned from the Attorney and Discord server. Help me, please. I got you. We'll hook you up right now. You bring us subscribers in, we got you, bro. I will hook you all the way up. I got you in there right now. Hey, hey, hey. I got you in there right now. Hey, hey. I'm gonna hit you up. We're gonna go into bands and shit. We're gonna get this figured out. Hold up. Server settings, bands. What is your Discord name? TRC, are you Big World says, okay, I'll have to go, but I'll hop on the next call. Sounds good. See you later, Big World. It was good to have you. I'm interested to see what's up. Interested to learn more about you. Um, TRC, what is your Discord name? If you tell me that, I can help you out a little bit more. Just not really sure. Is it Havoc? Because Havoc um, has your same icon, so it seems like you would be Havoc, but I'm not sure. Icon, I should say. I've been trying not to do the OK symbol thing. It's so damn close. It's so damn close, and I just want it to come in. Guys, mm, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and call it here. I'm gonna go to Havoc. If you are Havoc, I unbanned you. I'm revoking your ban. You should be good, Havoc. TRC should be good. Click the link in the description to rejoin. Hit us up. States with legal cases. 10 cases filed in so far, 6 cases active, 1 case settled, 1 case is denied with accommodation, 2 cases dismissed, 1 case sought to be withdrawn. Interesting. Crazy close in Georgia. Less than 2,000 votes difference between Trump and Biden. That's insane. It really, really is. Less than 2,000 votes between Trump and Biden. Um, you should be good, TRC. I'm going to double check this window capture. Yep, okay. Philadelphia stuff, getting close. Ooh, everybody. Nevada, 6 electorals. Okay, so we're going to call it for tonight, I believe. But this was insane. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Always appreciate the support. We are getting toward 1,000, and I appreciate y'all for that. But until then, I will see you soon. Have a good night, guys, and good luck. We will talk about the election soon, once we get the results, I guess.